Every footballing genius is eventually, the top 5%, is forced to stand at a crossroads. One path demands absolute soul-crushing conformity, the relentless pursuit of structured, safe perfection. The other path offers nonchalance, flair, smile, dance, Prince treatment, the freedom to play with a smirk, the choice to treat a multi-million-dollar arena like a concrete street corner in São Paulo. This is the guy that makes a guy laugh harder than on the bed for real. And his looks. Every girl's to 1%. For 15 years, Neymar Jr. walked the path of nonchalance, hoog. He broke records, shattered the world transfer market, and won everything. Yet, the football world called his career a tragedy. Even the shocking ones of his own, who you would never expect, but running in the background. This isn't you normal day-to-day winger. This is the Joker. Flair, flash, dancer, teaser, showman, all in one. May 2026, against every analytical prediction, Brazil manager Carlo Ancelotti handed the 34-year-old a final lifeline. The prince who never became king was given one last dance on the grandest stage of them all. But the football gods are notoriously cruel. Just days after his emotional call-up, his body betrayed him yet again. A fresh calf injury, a ticking clock. The ultimate question no longer belongs to the critics. It belongs to his own resilience.
It belongs to the critics. It belongs to his own resilience. To understand the weight of Neymar's present, we have to travel back to where the nonchalance was born. When he first emerged from the Santos Academy, he wasn't just a prospect. He was a cultural phenomenon. He played with a dangerous, infectious joy. While European academies were busy manufacturing robotic, one-touch passers, Neymar was inventing tricks in real time. He didn't just want to score. He wanted to humiliate the very concept of defending. He wore his arrogance like a badge of honor. And for a while, it worked flawlessly. When Europe finally came calling, Barcelona turned his chaotic magic into a tactical weapon. Paired with Messi and Suarez, Neymar became part of the most devastating attacking trident the sport had ever seen. He was no longer just a showman. He was a treble winner, a global superstar sitting comfortably on the foot of the throne. But being a prince in someone else's kingdom was never going to be enough. In the summer of 2017, Neymar decided to step out of the shadow and into a trap of his own making. When Neymar Jr. crossed the Atlantic in 2013, he didn't just change clubs. He entered a laboratory. Barcelona under Tata Martino, and later Luis Enrique, was a temple of footballing orthodoxy. It was a system built on rigid geometric passing, tactical selflessness, and the absolute central supremacy of Lionel Messi. the European media sharpened their knives early. Pundits openly questioned whether an unedited, street-raised showman from Sao Paulo could suppress his ego. They expected an explosion. They expected a clash of titans that would tear the Catalan dressing room apart. But Neymar did something far more dangerous to the rest of football. He adapted. Under the guidance of his peers, the flamboyant teenager began to mature. He stripped away the excessive performative stepovers that worked in South America, replacing them with lethal, calculated verticality. He didn't lose his nonchalance. He sharpened it into a weapon, designed for European destruction. The arrival of Luis Suarez unlocked a phenomenon that football may never witness again. MSN. Three South American superstars who, by all corporate logic, should have been rivals, instead became a brotherhood. The 2014 to 2015 season became Neymar's masterpiece of peak expression. He was no longer an apprentice. He was an equal blade in the most terrifying attacking trident in sports history. While Messi pulled the strings from deep and Suarez battered central defenders, Neymar was the chaotic element on the left wing. Impossible to read, impossible to catch. In the Champions League knockout stages, he became inevitable. He scored in both legs of the quarter-final against PSG, both legs of the semi-final against Bayern Munich, and in the 97th minute of the Berlin final against Juventus. When he collapsed to his knees, wearing his iconic 100% Jesus headband, he had scored 39 goals in a single season and secured a historic treble. At just 23 years old, he had conquered the continent. The true measure of Neymar's Barcelona greatness came when the anchor was removed. In September 2015, Lionel Messi suffered a severe knee injury that sidelined him for 2 months. Panic gripped Catalonia. The general consensus was that Barcelona would surrender their league lead without their talisman. Instead, Neymar grabbed the steering wheel. For 60 days, he played like a man possessed by the spirit of Pelé and Ronaldinho combined. He assumed the central creative responsibility, operating as an unstoppable playmaker. He dismantled Villarreal with a legendary self-assisted flick and volley goal. He went into the Santiago Bernabeu and orchestrated a humiliating 4-0 defeat of Real Madrid. For those 2 months, Neymar wasn't just the heir to the throne. He was the best player on earth. He proved to the global audience that he didn't need Lionel Messi to shine. Messi was simply holding back the full extent of his shadow. Then came the night that altered the course of football history. March 2017. La Remontada. down 4-0 on aggregate to Paris Saint-Germain. Barcelona needed a miracle. With 7 minutes left on the clock, even Messi seemed to accept defeat. But Neymar refused to blink. In a display of pure, unadulterated fearlessness, he single-handedly engineered the greatest comeback the sport had ever seen. It was his crowning achievement, his ultimate night. But as the stadium erupted, Neymar looked at the front pages the next morning. The image burned into human history wasn't his. It was Lionel Messi, standing on an advertising board, held up like a messiah by the fans. It was a cold, psychological epiphany. Neymar realized that no matter how many miracles he performed, he would always be a supporting actor in Catalonia. To win the crown, he had to leave the kingdom. He chose to walk away from brotherhood and into a golden cage. In August 2017, the footballing economy was fundamentally broken. Paris Saint-Germain triggered Neymar's €222 million release clause, activating a financial transaction so massive it defied athletic logic. Neymar was no longer just a footballer. He had become a geopolitical statement. A state-backed project used his signing to buy instant footballing royalty. Neymar wanted his own kingdom, but he failed to see the bars of the corporate cage he had entered. In Spain, his nonchalance was viewed as art. In France, the physical, defensively uncompromising Ligue 1 treated his skill as an insult that required immediate, violent punishment. The French league did not protect the dancer. Opposing managers openly admitted their game plans. If you cannot stop him, break his rhythm, literally.
The consequences were tragic and cyclical. The fifth metatarsal in his right foot became his Achilles heel. A cruel calendar tradition emerged. Every February when the Champions League round of 16 arrived, and Paris needed their €222 million savior most, Neymar was filmed on crutches, weeping in medical bays or recovering in Brazil. The media narrative soured instantly. The public stopped feeling sympathy for his broken bones and began blaming his lifestyle. They claimed his nonchalance on the pitch mirrored a lack of professionalism off it. He was trapped in a toxic loop, paying a brutal physical price for his style, only to be mocked for the injuries he sustained. Yet, the magic never fully died. In August 2020, behind closed doors in Lisbon, Neymar dragged Paris Saint-Germain to their first ever Champions League final. For 2 weeks in Portugal, he abandoned the drama. He ran, he fought, and he carried a fractured team entirely on his back. But the fairy tale lacked a final chapter. A narrow 1-0 defeat to Bayern Munich left him staring at the trophy he had desperately chased to validate his departure from Barcelona. The image of Neymar sobbing into the shoulder of his opponents was proof of the immense burden he carried. He had sacrificed his prime years for a project that fell exactly one 90-minute match short of immortality. The final years in Paris turned entirely toxic. The kingdom Neymar had bought was slowly, systematically seized by a younger, colder prince, Kylian Mbappé. Neymar had arrived as the undisputed king, but he was relegated to an afterthought as the club pivoted its entire identity around the French forward. By 2023, the romance was completely dead. Fans protested outside his private residence, demanding his exit. The 222, the warm, creative brotherhood of Barcelona, for a cold, hyper-commercialized island in Paris. He left France having scored 118 goals in 173 games, a staggering statistical return, yet treated by history as an expensive failure. He had built his own arena, only for the audience to turn on the serious joker. In the summer of 2023, as the toxic smoke cleared from his departure from Paris, Neymar didn't look for redemption in Europe's top leagues. Instead, he chased the horizon to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Al Hilal presented him with a contract that read like a corporate fantasy, a €90 million transfer fee, a tax-free salary of nearly €150 million a year, a private fleet of luxury supercars, a 25-bedroom mansion with full-time staff, and a personal private jet at his disposal. To the footballing purists, it was a capitulation. They argued that at 31 years old, Neymar was officially retiring from serious football, trading the pursuit of the Ballon d'Or for generational wealth. His signature nonchalance had reached its absolute peak. He had found an oasis where he could play at half speed and still be treated like a god. But the universe has a brutal way of balancing accounts. Just 5 games into his Arabian journey, before he could even settle into the rhythm of Riyadh, Neymar pulled on the Selección jersey in Montevideo. In the 44th minute against Uruguay, the world stopped. A ruptured anterior cruciate ligament and meniscus in his left knee. The worst injury a footballer can face. The golden oasis vanished instantly. The €300 million asset was rendered entirely useless. Neymar was flown back to Brazil for surgery, traded from the pitch to a grueling, agonizing 12-month rehabilitation cycle. The man who had spent his entire life dancing away from defenders was now entirely stationary, trapped in a room with his own fading prime. quietly fading into the twilight of South American football, content to let his career draw to a comfortable, unbothered close. They thought the nonchalance had finally transitioned into retirement. But the footballing gods were not done drafting the tragedy of Neymar Jr. On May 18th, 2026, Brazil's new commander, Carlo Ancelotti, stepped up to the podium to announce his 26-man roster for the North American World Cup. Local analysts and former legends had deemed it impossible. Neymar hadn't played a competitive international match since his devastating ACL tear back in late 2023. Yet, as Ancelotti read the list of forwards, the name echoed across the nation: Neymar. In a raw, unedited video captured by his inner circle, the 34-year-old superstar completely broke down. The nonchalant facade cracked, revealing a man weeping in absolute relief, instantly dialing his father to whisper 4 words through his tears. "We made it, Dad." Ancelotti openly admitted the gamble, stating he didn't pick Neymar to be a routine substitute. He picked him because his pure technical genius could change a World Cup match in a single minute, a single 5-minute cameo, or a single high-stakes penalty.